Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to explore a really wild theory that connects two of the biggest stories of our time, and it's got the entire internet buzzing.
So, it all kicked off on January 30th. This is when the Department of Justice finally unsealed those infamous Epstein files. We're talking thousands and thousands of pages of documents just dropped on the public.
And then, almost immediately after those files dropped, something really weird happened in a world that you'd think has zero connection to it. The crypto market just took a nosedive. We're talking major coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum just tumbling.
And look, this wasn't just a little dip. We're talking over $6 billion in liquidations in just 6 days. That's a mind-boggling amount of money just wiped out.
So, of course, this has led a lot of people online to ask a pretty startling question. Are these two things connected? I mean, is this just a crazy coincidence, or is there something bigger at play here?
And that timing brings us to the central theory that's been absolutely blowing up the internet. It's a claim that honestly sounds like it was ripped straight from a movie script. Okay, here it is. The big explosive claim is that Jeffrey Epstein, yes, that Jeffrey Epstein, was actually Satoshi Nakamoto, the mysterious creator of Bitcoin. So, is there any evidence to support this, or is this just another wild internet theory? We're going to sift through the documents, look at the claims, and see what evidence is actually being presented.
All right, to really get this, there's one simple rule. You have to follow the money and the connections.
And what's really interesting here is that the documents show Epstein's involvement wasn't just a casual thing. We're talking over a decade. He started tracking Bitcoin right after the white paper came out in 2008. He was there, investing at basically every major milestone in crypto's early days.
So get this. Years ago, a really key meeting went down at Epstein's mansion. And look who was there. Brock Pierce, the co-founder of Tether, USDT, and Larry Summers, the former U.S. Treasury Secretary. Pierce gives them a live Bitcoin demo, and then Epstein pulls him into a long private chat about crypto. Think about that. He's connecting a major crypto founder with one of the most powerful people in U.S. finance.
Okay, fast forward to 2015. A huge crisis hits. The Bitcoin Foundation, the group that was basically keeping Bitcoin's development alive, was flat broke. I mean, about to completely collapse. It would have been a disaster.
And then, right when things look their worst, this anonymous donation comes out of nowhere. $525,000 funneled through MIT's Media Lab, specifically to save the project.
And here's the kicker. The donor was supposed to be a secret, but internal emails from MIT show that a thank you was sent to a code name, Voldemort. And guess whose secret code name that was? Yep, Jeffrey Epstein.
So let's just be really clear here. Epstein's money, funneled secretly, paid the salaries of the people who were literally building the future of Bitcoin, right at the moment it was about to die.
And if you thought that was weird, check this out. A single letter in an email he sent has sparked a ton of speculation. See, he's pitching Saudi investors and refers to Bitcoin's founders with an S, plural. Everyone else thought Satoshi was one guy, the founder. So, did Epstein know something we didn't? That maybe it was a group?
He was also hosting these infamous power dinners. One in Palo Alto had basically every big name in tech you can think of. Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Peter Thiel, Reid Hoffman, and what were they all talking about? Using crypto and decentralization to fight back against government control. Pretty wild.
So all of this leads to another theory, which is maybe even crazier. What if Epstein didn't create Bitcoin, but what if he hijacked it?
This hijacking theory goes like this. Bitcoin was supposed to be one thing, digital cash. Fast, cheap, something you could use every day. But what is it now? It's basically digital gold. Slow, expensive, and totally controlled by the same old financial system it was meant to replace.
So how would you hijack a currency? Well, the theory says it's a 4-step process. Step 1, fund the core developers. Check. We know he did that. Step 2, influence them to keep the block size small. That creates a bottleneck, right? Which leads to step 3. The whole system gets slow and expensive. And step 4, a slow system can never compete with banks, so it just becomes a store of value and poses no real threat.
All right, so where does all this leave us? We've got a lot of dots, but can we connect them?
Look, the evidence we have suggests a few things pretty clearly.
Epstein was involved in crypto from the absolute beginning. He funded the key developers when they were about to go under. He was the guy connecting the crypto world with the old money financial elite. He might have known who Satoshi really was. And his influence, well, it may have completely changed what Bitcoin was meant to be. So, was Epstein the ghost in Bitcoin's machine? The truth is, the documents don't give us that final definitive answer. We're left with this really provocative question. And maybe that's the real takeaway here. It's not about finding a smoking gun, but about realizing that the story of Bitcoin, this story of freedom and decentralization, might be a whole lot messier and a lot more controlled than any of us ever thought.